Achieving my lifelong ambition of being the captain of cool has finally arrived, because today I'm going to speak to you about a killer app. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate and lead and inspire. And recently I was looking at an article by a gentleman named Max Phillips. The title of his article was "Notes is the iPhone's killer app. Yes, really. Organize your present and lend a helping hand to your future." All right, well, I lied to you a little bit. I'm not really going to talk to you so much about the app per se, but I am going to talk to you about what the app can do for you, which was kind of the body of the article written by Mr. Phillips. And it's something that we've spoken about on this channel so many different times, and just looking for a different way to present to you ideas that are going to help move you forward. All right, the premise of this particular app, the Notes app, is that you can, guess what, take notes during the day. You can just grab your phone, speak into your phone, and you take your notes. So many different things happen during the day, and I want to point out to you why it's so important to jot down these different things and how it affects you and how it can help you. All right, first of all, yesterday I was driving to the supermarket and I saw a billboard. Now, you know how fast you go by a billboard. You go by and you can't see the whole thing, all the time, and it doesn't click all at once. But I saw there was a picture of a cute baby, and the verbiage that I was able to read said, "He has real fingerprints 9 months after conception." All right, so I just went on to the store and I went into my phone, I repeated it into my phone, and then I went shopping. Well, later on, when I was thinking about that particular line, what does that particular line mean? Well, the first thing I thought of was definitely not what they had in mind, but was something, because of who I am, was, you have your fingerprints, which is kind of similar to a leopard doesn't change its spots. It's like, President Trump is going to act like President Trump because he's President Trump. Don't expect him to change now. It's not going to happen. All right? That was what I thought is the point. So I went home, I looked it up, and lo and behold, I saw that it had to do with, women's choice. All right? That's fine. I'm not going to get into that political situation. But the point I'm making is, when you're going by and you're driving by someplace and you see something and it catches your attention, make a note of it. And one of the things is, because some things you learn and you have to learn them through repetition. And then later on, they become second nature to you. Well, what am I talking about, okay? When you first started to learn to drive a car, you have to think about every single function that you perform along the way. You put on your seatbelt, you adjust your mirrors, you put your hands in 10 and 2. Yeah, all the little different things that you do as a driver. What do you do now once you've been experienced on the road? Get in your car, throw on a seatbelt, boom, everything's just automatic. You don't have to think about it anymore. Same thing is true, let's get even more basic than that. When you were little, Eli, and you first started to walk, you had to think about, well, I do this, I do that, you fell down, you got up, trial and error, and then now you don't have all that much difficult walking. Does that make sense? All right, so ideas, when you see them, are like steam. If you don't capture them, they're going to dissipate into the atmosphere. And why is it so important to capture all these different ideas? Well, when you give things a rethink later on, the paradigm is frequently different than when you originally recorded the idea. And your reactions are different. Think about this for a second. What's the difference between somebody throwing a bucket of cold water on you when you're completely fully dressed, they throw the water on you and you think like, what the heck are you doing here? You know, as opposed to somebody throwing a bucket of water on you when you're in your bathing suit by the swimming pool. Different paradigm, isn't it? And when you create different paradigms, you get different reactions, you get different viewpoints, you get, your analysis is completely different. That's one of the things that you want to frequent on a daily basis. You want to be thinking about things from different angles. It's the same difference, and I'm going to get kind of basic here. It's the same difference upon there you are lying in bed, and here comes the wife, and she's coming, you know, to bed, and she's wearing pajamas. Or you're lying in bed, and she comes into the bedroom, and she's wearing a negligee. Paradigm's completely different, isn't it? Follow what I'm saying. And one of the things that also is a key factor is just the plain old forget factor. We don't retain things so well. I mean, you'll have an idea, you'll think about it. I mean, there are so many times, and I learned this, one of the things I learned doing this channel was, you know, I have my quiet thinking time, I would think about something, or right before I'm going to sleep, an idea would come into my mind and say, oh, that's a good idea, I'm going to use that tomorrow. And then when I wake up the next day, for the life of me, I cannot remember what that idea was. And you try and you try and you try and you can't think of it. As opposed to just grabbing your phone, speaking into your phone, and recording the idea, recording the concept, recording what somebody said. And then you're able to review it, and you're able to review it from different paradigms, and that often will be an idea that can be a make or break idea with whatever function it is you're trying to get accomplished. You know, if you're teaching school, if you have an idea about a class, boom, that's an important thing. But you don't want to forget it. You want to remember the line. These are things that people that accomplish things do because they're able to retain more. We're all exposed to so many different things in this wonderful world, so many different ideas, so many different directions. And we all have a direction that we come from. But the people that are the most successful are the ones that are able to unite people that have opposite directions. The mediators, so to speak. To take an idea and allow somebody to make an advancement through your idea. But the first step that you have to have is you have to capture that idea. And before I started doing this on my phone, I used to have like a pencil and paper, and I would write things down, and I would put the little notes in my wallet. So the things about life don't change. The technology changes. I mean, somewhere down the road, Eli, you're going to want to meet, if you haven't already, the number one lady that's going to share your life. And, you know, in the old days, what would you do? Well, you might go to a watering hole and meet somebody at a bar. You might go to a dance. You might go to a religious function and where people gather. You might go to a football game or a baseball game or something where you're going to meet, you know, someone of the opposite gender. You know, you go in with that intention. You want to go and you want to meet people. You go to a party, that type of thing. But technology's changed. Now you got Instagram, you do stuff over the phone, you know, you got these dating services, you got all this different stuff. But the concept is still the same. You're still looking to meet that special person. But the technology changes the way that you go about doing it. Or it can change the way that you go about doing it. It did for me. I got tired of like every couple of days taking out my wallet, having it be this thick with all these different notes in it, and then having to rewrite them down again. This way, I have them, I put them on, I have them on the phone, and then once a week I sit down, or once every couple of days I sit down, and I copy those ideas on my notes that are my permanent notes. And I have them. And I may not use them today, I may not use them next week, but I get to go back and review them, and they will trigger ideas in my mind to help me be more creative. One of the key elements of being successful is being creative, doing something in a better way, being more productive. Are you with me on that? And one of the ways that you can be more productive is to capture these different ideas and review them, and then you find that you're connecting something from column A and column C and putting them together, things that people would never put together, but you did it because you captured the ideas and you said, hey, that relates to this. Boom! You've got a fusion, something that's going to move people forward, something where you can use your creativity to add value to yourself, to your company, to your family. Are you with me on that? And because we never end a meeting on a philosophical note, get the app or start writing things down, but figure out how to capture ideas that you see. It will make you more creative, and get out there and take charge. I'm Eli's dad.